there is a swarm of small bugs, gnats, mosquitoes, flies, all these little critters that shouldn't be flying around when it's raining, but they are circling around. And there's a flash of lightning in the distance.
Where are we going is still the question.
Anywhere but here.
Tyrell, you tumble to the ground. You hit the ground and you bounce back up, and then suddenly this gust of what you think might be air or force hits you and sprays water on you. You tumble sideways. Duncan, as all this is going on, you see an outline kind of in the rain amongst the bugs. It's not the presence of something, but the absence of anything. You realize there's an image, like an outline of a woman. And as you are pulling up, your headlights flash across the mailbox, and you make out the name S. Jenkins stenciled on the side. Well, if the barn is falling apart, maybe no one will buy it. I mean, if you've gone in there and wrecked it.
Whoa. You know me. I'm a very delicate in these scenarios. It wrecked itself.
Okay.
I want to pull in Jenkins. Like Jenkins, can I just pull you aside just for a second?
Yeah, sure.
Just kind of like
and the old, and so the old man goes off to the side, and he leans in and goes, "You've got some strange friends here."
You don't know the half of it. I actually have a question. You know the big fella that is all banged out with the spray. He says he saw a woman in a white dress. I don't believe him, but you see anything like that around here?
I'm going to need you to make an intellect check to try and persuade him or convince him that to talk to you about this, because he's looking at you a little askew, taken back a little bit by the suggestion that there might be somebody out there.
Yeah, I'll use persuasion.
Okay.
And I will use. Oh.
And its difficulty is 5. Difficulty level of 5, so it's a 15 or better on the die roll.
Okay, is Jenkins back to me, or
I believe he is. He walked off and he's turned his back to you guys, and he's leaning in next to Duncan.
Roy's gonna just point to Jenkins, just like.
And I'm just gonna. I'm trying to think of a subtle way of being like.
No. No. Okay.
I'm gonna take effort on this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that was not the worst it could be.
There's nobody up there. What are you talking about? You're just seeing things.
No. I didn't see it. It was the fellow over there. I told you. Don't like. I don't know. I just wanted to humor him, and you know me. I help people out, but if you didn't see it,
he didn't see anything. There's nothing going on up there. The house is perfectly normal.
I too describe most houses as perfectly normal.
I'm like, okay, I appreciate that. Do you actually I know we're already barged in here, but would it be possible I could get like a glass of water? I'm really thirsty.
Yeah, of course I get you a glass of water. I'd be a sorry host not to get you a glass of water. But don't you be tramping around my house and leaving puddles everywhere. Stay right here. And so the old man goes into the kitchen and he stops at the doorway and he looks back. The rest of you want some water too?
Yeah, mine good.
I need a shower.
You do look a bit rough. All right.
I'll next time you need any help, just let me know. And if it's on the house.
So
yeah.
The
I offer to go help with the water, like to help carry the glasses and stuff back.
And he nods at you and goes, "All right, let's go do this." And he goes, "If you need to get cleaned up," and he points down the hall and he goes, "There's a bathroom down there. Make yourself at home. There's towels and washcloths in the closet."
He looks at mine. He's like, "If you want, you can go first, because."
She's gonna shake her head. Like it's a flirty shaking of the head, but it's still a shaking of the head.
Yeah, like once he got to go ahead, he's gone.
Um, I'm gonna take like when they're kind of in the room, I'll kind of go to Mr. Teller and be like,
Okay, so Amaya, you go into the kitchen with the old man, and he almost full of glasses, and he's got like these little jelly jars of glasses, like and he
Like the mason jars.
yep, and he fills them up and hands you two, and he takes two for himself, and he goes heads back out to the other room, and he's muttering under his breath about like people seeing stuff at the house that doesn't happen. There's no, I, I, I don't know why people keep saying that. There's nobody up there. Wallace wasn't doing anything wrong. And as he's muttering this,
Should did someone around here see something up at the house?
there's stories. There's people talking. There's workers up here, and they keep saying that there's something wrong with that house. But there's nothing wrong with that house. And
What they
I
say?
don't want them thinking that Wallace was a bad man. Wallace was not a bad man.
Even if something's wrong with the house, that doesn't make Wallace a bad man.
Oh wow, there's been a few times where it looks like someone's been walking around the house at night. I've seen it. One of the workers mentioned about it as well. But when I go up there to check, I never see anybody there.
Mm.
I don't want you to get any bad ideas about that. I mean, I'm I'm sure it's just like a trick of the light.
Well, you know what I think? I think that you are a good and caring man who lost a friend and maybe sometimes might miss the idea of him walking around the house. And maybe you might miss the idea of his wife walking around the house too. And so I don't think anybody would blame you if every once in a while the light tricked you and you thought you saw a glimmer of your friend just for a moment.
Yeah, I don't. You're a lot nicer than I expected working for that Rivers woman, but I don't think it was him. I don't think it was him I was seeing. I don't think it was his wife. It was like an olden time woman, you know, like she was wearing a gown. Like you see like in a movie where they have like those big balls. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, that sounds similar to what we saw.
Wallace has had some people up at his house before he passed. Some of them were a little strange, a little weird. And after this one woman came by, that's when I first saw her. The other woman, the one in the ball dress. I don't know what Wallace was up to up there. Uh, I don't think it's his fault. I don't know. I don't. You know, is it, and he looks at you. Is it a ghost? Is that a ghost up there?
Now, I wouldn't be the one to know anything about ghosts or things that go bump in the night. And she kind of like sarcastically wiggles her fingers. So I don't know whether I should tell you to believe that it's a ghost or that it's not a ghost. But as long as it's not coming down here to affect your family and you are sleeping safely and soundly at night, why don't you let us look deeper into it and you just make sure we have somewhere to run in case it is something that goes bump in the night?
I yeah, that's if you well, you're already here. I'm not going to stop you from going up there. But that Duncan guy, he's a nice fellow. He does some good work in town. So if you guys need a place to rest, you're welcome here.
Okay. Awesome.
Tyrell, you go into the bathroom.
Achievement.
Yeah, he is like scrubbing and just making sure that he gets rid of the feeling of all the bugs crawling and like biting at his skin. And he's just gonna do everything he can to just forget about that experience.
Yeah, and the weird thing is, as you're cleaning yourself off, and you saw the bugs on the car. You saw them all over the place, but you're cleaning yourself off. There's no bugs on you. There's no sign. You still have little bite marks on you, little red splotches, but you don't. There's no like stray bugs on top of you.
Mm.
Also, you notice there's a book in the bathroom.
He just kind of like said,
Yep, and it's a flower book, and it's a flower book about different desert flowers and flowers that can be grown in the winter. And you look at it, and you see sticking out between two of the pages are the petals of this purple flower.
he's just gonna like carefully look at the petals and interesting.
Yep. So it looks like it was pressed between a couple pages and kind of hanging out there. It's
He's
not
gonna open the book.
not super dried out, but it is been. You can tell it's been there for a while.
He could open the book up. Just like he understands like the general idea of just trying to press it, but like to see what exactly was on those pages in particular.
Okay. When you open it up, you find the book opens up, and there is this purplish flower in there. It's not very big. It's you know the flower itself is probably only a quarter inch or so, a half inch across in diameter. It's got like a 3-inch stem on it. There, the book tells a little bit about the flower. It doesn't say much as anything useful for it, but what you see next to it is the word Bettina penciled in on top next to on the page where the flower is.
Patina
This,
ladies
this,
everywhere.
this is a tool that will help us later.
Okay, Dora.
He's just gonna get everything he needs done, and then he could just kind of nonchalantly pocket that book.
Okay. Yeah, it's like a small hand guide. It's probably about like maybe 4 inches tall, 3 inches wide. It's something that like you would be able to shove in your back pocket as you're out on for a walk.
He's gonna like try to find anyone at this point and just like show what he found.
Okay. All right. And Duncan and Roy, you guys have been left alone in the hallway by the door. You have a few minutes to yourself.
Ye-
Tell me what you're doing.
Yeah, yeah. As soon as they left the room, I'm gonna kind of like wave Mr. Teller over and be like, I asked Mr. Jenkins about the woman in the dress I saw, and he got very defensive. Um, he seemed like he had a little bit more than he was letting on.
All right. Well, we're currently at his place. Do you have the car outside? Does he have? Is it just the house, or is there like any attached buildings along
It
the
is just the
outside?
house.
Okay.
This really is like a very small uh, single level ranch style house. It looks like there's you know maybe like 900 square feet. It's not very large at all. It's got like the shower. It's got the bathroom. It's got the living room, small kitchen, and that's in the hallway. It's pretty much it.
Okay, so yeah, I was gonna say there's not too much we can do to look around without looking very suspicious.
Yeah.
Oh,
Um,
there's bedroom too. Don't forget the bedroom.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess
How many cameras do you have left, and how bad do you feel?
I think with him losing this property, he's been gracious enough to us. I'm not gonna. Oh, I don't want to violate
How
this.
about
I will.
how about the porch? It's not in his home.
And you know
See
what?
if he gets any strange visitors.
Yeah, I may try and. I would want to try and spin it with him. Be like, on the
Oh,
house, you have free security.
I'm fine with that. That's
Yeah.
honestly what you can give him. Like you can say we're coming back with the tablet later too, and we can. That way he's
Mhm.
got access to it himself.
Yeah. Ultimately, I don't want to bring on whatever we unleashed onto this place. I think ultimately, I want to see him all right. What we have to. It doesn't seem like they're following us, so we have to go
The
back.
house, yeah.
But we don't necessarily have to go back tonight. He did extend us the invitation,
Yeah.
and they seem to be more active at night.
I was gonna say
And
the
as
waking hours tend to do better for this kind of thing.
yep, and Amaya and Mr. Jenkins comes out of the kitchen. They have the mason jars full of water. Uh, Amaya's trying not to spill hers, although she's is shaking her hand kind of weirdly as you watch her come over. Uh, and they come out, and Jenkins looks over at Duncan and says, uh, I was wrong. Your friends aren't as weird as I thought they were. She's very nice.
Yeah. She's the best amongst us.
There's a tiny bow.
Um, and and
I
you
don't
know
know. I
what?
think my crown may be up for grabs. Mr. Jenkins has offered to let us stay the night.
That's awfully kind of you, sir.
I appreciate that. I think with all the kind of like with these bugs and you know what, just like on the house, if you feel comfortable, I wouldn't mind putting up a free security system. That way you don't have to worry about people coming around without you know about it. Like
Oh,
just on the house.
I would like that very much because there there have been people around here, and I don't want them wandering around on my property. I mean, this is mine
Und-
now.
understandable. Um, Mr. Taylor and I were just gonna quickly step out and put a couple cameras on there. Is there any particular direction where you feel like you get the most traffic as well, just so we can make sure we get all the important spots?
Well, the bridge is out, but anyone coming up to the house, they have to drive by here. So just
Face the road.
right out to the road. And as you guys are getting ready to head out, I think that's when Tyrell comes out of the bathroom, looking a little bit better than he went in. And then Jenkins is holding a glass of water for you, Tyrell, as you come out.
Oh, thank you, sir.
My pleasure.
He just takes a drink and he um tries to non-verbally signal to whoever is paying attention to him besides Mr. Jenkins.
Well, I think you see Roy and Duncan getting ready to leave the house as you come out there. Maya's kind of standing next to him. You have a chance to try and non-verbally communicate to any of them.
Um,
You have a cell phone.
he'll try to communicate to Maya. I'm assuming the other two have their backs to him.
Okay.
Probably.
We've got cameras to install.
All right. So Tyrell is trying to non-verbally communicate with Amaya. Duncan and Roy are going to go outside and grab the camera equipment and start setting it up.
Do I see him trying to like wiggle his eyebrows at me?
Apparently they all are. Which you mean Tyrell, right?
Yes.
Yes. He's giving you the secret hand signals that you've agreed upon ahead of time.
the house.
I
I thought
can't.
I wasn't subtle, threatening to beat up an old man. You making bird calls in the middle of the house.
Is that the night sparrow?
Oh, would you look at that? But yeah, he's gonna like just lead her to the other room, and he's gonna say, so I found this. He shows her the book.
And you're taking her aside, so Jenkins is out. Yeah, and Jenkins
Yes.
Jenkins is like out looking out the door. He's not going out in the rain because that's like what crazy people would go out in the rain. He's not crazy. But he's gonna look out the door and he's gonna watch Roy and Duncan do their work. So he's kind of left you guys alone for a second.
Okay.
Roy is absolutely like one side that is actually visible to Jenkins is just, hand on hip, watching, waiting if Duncan needs anything. Other hand is definitely on the 22 as he just like side eyes towards the ranch. Like dogs, bugs, ghost lady,
Yeah.
potentially malicious tractor.
Nah,
It's not been a good day.
you look up toward the ranch and everything is dark. You don't see anything moving around.
Would do we hear anything while we're out here apart from the rain?
Nah, that's pretty much it.
All right.
So I say Tyrell and Amaya, go ahead and tell me what's going on.
He once he knows that he's out of earshot, he pulled the book out and he said, look what I found. Seems like we got ourselves a botanist.
So I'm gonna take note of the name as well as the flower. This is the same flower from the burial site, correct?
You know, there is no actual picture of what that flower was, and there wasn't anything in the ritual site. But that's a reasonably good assumption that this might be the flower that was needed for that.
Okay. I thought I
That is
thought we
definitely
I
a
thought
check.
we saw the flowers at the ritual site as well.
No,
Okay.
there
So
was no flower there.
okay, if there are two, I will take one.
There is only one
That way
flower.
we have. Oh no. Okay, I'll take the flower because it does have like the circle. It has the name circled and stuff.
Yep.
I'll take the flower, make sure I put it in my bag so it doesn't get smushed. Or no, I'll take the whole journal. That way the flower is pressed and preserved still.
So what you think?
She just kind of like bites her lip a little bit and looks over, just cause trying to like reconcile in her head because he seemed like a pretty nice guy. So why was he involved with like this clearly evil woman? And he also said that somebody else had like seen her. So like, does she just entice all the men that see her? You know, like if because even though he's got this place himself, like, did we see a wife?
At Jenkins?
Yes.
Uh,
Like we didn't see a wife
Would
or anything.
the old man looks like
with
he lives alone.
with
Right.
with my pre-existing like knowledge of him, would I know if he's ever been with anybody?
Not as far as to the best of your recollection, he's never been married.
Right. So you've got one widower who like desperately loved his wife. You've got one man who's never been married. Like what if she's kind of got siren-y type energy?
Yeah, Amaya, go ahead and make an intellect check on this one, and you're going to try and go difficulty level 3, so you went 9 or better on this one.
Okay.
And this is just like piecing together some stuff you might have picked up.
Okay. Difficulty 3. I know normally difficulty 3 isn't something was effort for, but my rolls have been pretty trash lately, so I'm gonna use one effort.
All right. Everyone's got their fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Did I win?
Hey,
Yay, I
You
won!
did. You got a 10 on that one. Fantastic.
Yeah, I needed the effort apparently.
All right, so congratulations. As you're thinking through this, you realize that this figure, this that has appeared,
Mhm.
who's seen it first every time?
Me. Okay.
Me?
Duncan. It seems like it always appears to Duncan first.
Mm.
Shark bait, ooh ha ha.
Shark
You know what
bait.
she likes.
It knows about the spiders.
So every time it comes, it seems to come into view. It seems to be walking toward Duncan each time.
Interesting.
Do we still have that locket, or was it just a
Pocket watch.
stopwatch, pocket watch?
Pocket watch.
Yes.
I'm slightly curious if Duncan looks similar to who is the owner?
Oh,
If they all
him in
have
his
Wallace.
similar
prime.
profiles.
Wallace.
In
He
his
does.
prime.
I can let you know. Yeah, in his prime. Duncan looks just
Young
like Wallace
Wallace.
did when he was like 90 years old. No, you look nothing.
Oh,
You look nothing. You look nothing like Wallace.
all right.
There's no family
Well,
resemblance at all.
Well, that's good.
okay. Well, she doesn't have a type then.
Well, she might like it may be like lonely guys. Maybe your boss needs like a boss babe.
Oh,
I'm so
no,
lonely.
he doesn't get anybody else. It's me and him. That's it.
Um,
It only takes you guys about 5 minutes or so outside to put those cameras. That
Yeah.
cameras. Are you putting one camera up or two cameras up? Kind of angling in two different directions.
I figured like a road that's approaching, and then one towards just like the general, the path towards the barn.
All right, easy enough to do that. It doesn't take a lot of. It's not a really challenging thing. But you did leave all your monitoring equipment in the house.
Correct.
All right. So, but you get them set up. You think they're okay. Jenkins comes over and goes, "Oh, so what am I gonna do with these? How can I watch them?"
We will be bringing equipment by later. Ours is currently stuck in the ranch house.
Yeah, and you don't want to go back tonight because
They
And I'm just gonna show the bug bites again. It's like, bud,
they seem to have gotten a little more aggressive in the evening, but
we tried to fumigate the ranch or the barn specifically, and they did not like that.
you know, I'll come around tomorrow. We'll bring this up, and you'll be good as.
so you did fumigate the barn. All the bugs did leave the barn.
Yeah, they didn't like it. They didn't like
Mission
being out
accomplished.
in the house.
We did
And
it.
they might be looking for a new place to nest, so I invest in some bug spray. Well, I guess actually the tank is technically his. We just borrowed without asking.
Well, I don't know anything up there.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's probably the
My
farm
house,
tank.
my property goes for about 20 yards past the edge of my house, and that's it.
Okay. Okay. I just figured since he was the caretaker, it would be like his equipment. But I guess it was kind of reasonable.
Yeah. Well, did I use it? Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Well, Wallace, he was kind of persnickety about where things were at. He wanted to make sure everything was in its place.
We will do our best to put it back.
Hang on. Pause.
Okay.
He said he was particular about everything being in its place. That place was in disarray.
Well, it
Like
looked like
even
people have
before
been
we
boxing stuff up, though.
In fact, the only place that you saw that wasn't in total disarray was probably the workbench down in the basement.
Yes.
Okay.
Right before, until you jumped up on it because the rat scared you.
Sorry. Um, so do we think he was just like hauling up in the basement, or do we think that like something happened and it made the house in disarray?
I don't know. What do you
Well,
think?
people were coming in and doing construction work
Yeah.
that aren't necessarily clean.
Yeah,
Or no,
but
they're
that
not.
doesn't explain why like the bedroom had like the photos scattered all over it, or like why
Right.
the kitchen had like, or like why there was a sandwich under the bed, or why the kitchen had groceries spilled everywhere. Like that's not construction mess. That's like someone
That
got dragged out of there, or like,
was
you know,
living there in fear for a bit.
yeah. I'm just trying to put all the clues together. We
Mhm.
seem to be getting a lot of clues today,
That
and I'm trying to make sure I'm keeping track and putting them all
yeah,
together.
that's a really interesting assumption that you're making there. I will neither confirm nor deny the accuracy of that assumption yet.
That's fine. I just
it,
want to make
it,
sure I'm not the only one seeing all of these things and that it makes sense.
I was just chalking it up to the constructions, but I think I did not think of the photos and those types of things, which
Mhm.
Yeah, so I think there are certain things you can assume that were tied to the construction area. Like even his desk was kind of orderly and stuff, and his books were set up on the bookcase were okay. But when we went to his bedroom, there was kind of a bit of disarray. There was a lot going on in there. Like,
maybe someone was looking for something.
That too.
Maybe someone was looking for that flower. I'm just gonna throw that out there. I know I
Or
don't meta
maybe
know
the
this,
watch.
but
Or maybe the watch. And just didn't know they were looking for the watch.
when you were going through his stuff, it looked like that might have come from that pocket watch might have been a wedding present from his wife, and
Yeah.
because you
But
see it in
maybe
almost
it
every
didn't
picture after
work.
that.
Maybe it didn't work because it needed to be a token of love for um the woman he was trying to bring back, and she tried to trick him. So like maybe it, because it didn't have love for her in it, that's why the spell didn't go off correctly. I don't know. At this point, I'm just making sure we have all the information on the table and we have like likely scenarios, and we can go from there.
mhm. There's actually a really good point about the token of love.
I don't think any spell that starts with black candles has a right outcome.
So,
Uh,
Amaya, you realized that at one point there was a spectral entity that kind of took control of you in the house, but it didn't do it.
yeah, and it sent me up the
It
bedroom.
couldn't do it for very long. It just held it for a few seconds.
Hmm.
There probably wasn't enough anchoring you to that spot, but
Hmm.
had the spectral figure been able to find something to anchor to, maybe it could have stuck around a little bit longer.
Hmm. Now, what I've been assuming, like, and this is an out of character moment, but what I had been assuming that was either, um, what is his name? The old man who I want to call Beauregard, but that is not his name.
Wallace?
Um, is it Wallace? Yeah. The guy whose farm it is, the guy
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
Wallace
Wallace.
Amherst.
Wallace. Amherst, that's what I was thinking of. That's how I was getting the Beauregard. I'm not sure if those are even remotely related, but they were in my head. Um, so Amherst, I was thinking that was his spirit, or maybe the wife. Those were my two leading thoughts, but not anything negative.
Mm. And oh, maybe it's like it could be her. Like this opened up the channel, and they both went through, but the other entity like took the spot, and she's in limbo or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, or the wife had fully passed on. The other entity like took Amherst when the spell didn't go correctly, and now is gaining power in this world because she took the spirit of somebody who wasn't supposed to die.
So I think you're dancing right along the edges of things here. So uh, Clarice Winterbourne did the ritual to summon Mrs. Amherst so that Wallace could talk to her.
Right.
Something came through.
Right. And that was
What?
peaceful, and she dismissed the spirit.
Yes, and
So,
it seemed
what
that
I think happened is afterwards he tried to repeat her actions, but didn't know all the proper like protections and processes to go through. That's how
Well,
he gets
didn't it look like
introduced to the other
somebody else?
spirit.
Didn't it look like somebody else had fed him this spell? Like it wasn't something he'd come up with on his own?
Yeah, but I couldn't figure out if that was fed to him by the spirit, but now I'm thinking it might have been by his caretaker.
Hmm.
Mm.
Yeah, see, it was something that was. He thought he was seeing his wife, and it spoke to him through the TV, and it kept repeating the message, which was the ritual.
Mhm.
Right.
So I'm thinking whenever uh, the psychic was there and he spoke with his deceased wife, something else did come through at that same time and hid it out until after the psychic had gone, and then it started preying on Mr. Wallace, Mr. Amherst.
So
So it feed
I
him.
believe that the triggering event was the psychic's visit, but I think that based on what she's saying, and based on the fact that like I got a genuine read from her, so this is completely social. I don't have any mechanical reason for this, but I believe that she did everything correctly as far as the ritual, like close the portal, blah 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 blah, blah, and nothing snuck through. But I believe that after doing all of that, that either he decided to, or through the pressuring of his caretaker, they both decided to try and do another channel, and that's how she slipped through.
and when you say
Well,
caretaker, do you mean Steve Jenkins?
Yes.
if you read the pages from the notebook, it seems like he was saying that he kept seeing Martha though. So like, I think there was already something there. It wasn't him trying to, bring something else through. He was seeing what he thought to be his past wife before he tried to do anything else, before he tried any summoning, any magic, anything on his own.
Hmm. Do we
Well,
think that was his wife? Do we think that was
I don't think it
grief?
was his
Or do
wife.
we think that was
Well, if it was
her
telling him
already
messages
having
through
a
the TV,
foothold?
well, well,
I thought that was after.
because that
no.
first reading was like a month before this journal, right? Or did
Hold
I
on a
just make
second.
that up?
Yeah. So, when was the first meeting? Do we know?
First meeting was in December, so it
Yes.
was pretty close to a month. Yes.
Yeah.
Because January 5th, I saw Martha again. I'm sure of it. I think she's trying to tell me something. January 8th, I spoke to Martha. Somehow she used the TV. I haven't felt this live since she passed. January 12th, Martha has a way for us to be together. The TV kept repeating this message. I know it's from her.
Right, but this is all after the reading, right?
Yeah.
I
There's a
don't
Like
gap
this
between.
why he wouldn't put in the journal like, "Hey, I'm gonna try and redo what she did." Like, I don't know why he wouldn't put that if he wrote this weird
But
message the TV told him.
he also didn't say, "Hey, had someone come over, talk to Martha, had a great time." I
Right.
think I
right.
think there.
Like
I think
this
there's.
journal
Yeah.
starts after that.
Either way, we still have to go back so we can still dig around a bit more. And Roy
Yeah.
is down to a collective like 14 points between all of his pools.
Oh boy.
Yeah, but we get to do the full night's rest. So
I know
hopefully
that's part
nothing
of
will
it.
go bump in the night.
So taking stopping for the night, you can use the rest of your recovery rolls to recover whatever you need to do. So because they all
Mhm.
reset after a full night's rest. So
Okay.
And everyone remember, I give everyone a +1 to all recovery rolls.
Okay, and we just rolled d20s for the recovery.
It's a
D6.
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 And you can put those points however you want to put them.
Yeah. And I maxed out twice. Roy's good at taking a nap and feeling good in the morning.
Perfect. I am also back full. Very rested.
I'm
Okay.
3 away from full, so I'm not too upset.
Fully
Having
rested.
Mr. Jenkins is kind enough to bring out blankets and pillows for you to sleep on the couch, the love seat, the recliner. So, making yourself as comfortable as you can. And I
I
think
will say that I called dibs on the recliner. I put the back to the wall and definitely am not sleeping with my loaded gun ready to shoot at the door if something happens, because why would I do that? That sounds so dangerous and American.
and this recliner is like the nicest, most comfortable recliner you've probably been in a long time. This is clearly the old man recliner who is his favorite chair in the house, and he's broken in very well and is very comfortable.
Oh,
Like
I
he
love
probably
the
has
old
not
man
used the other
recliners.
he probably has not used the other chairs at all very often. They're almost like brand new, but this chair is very extremely comfortable.
I will take a pillow and I will crash on the floor with my coat as my jacket or my blanket.
Same.
He did bring us blankets, guys. You can have a blanket.
And a pillow.
I got a
Yeah.
pillow.
I'm taking blanket pillow. I am gonna take all the hospitality.